Now, during COVID-19 lockdown, it became apparent that people were looking for recipes. We saw the flour flying off the shelf. So she rallied the troops. The call went out for recipe contributions. And within the day, Food Writers New Zealand members had enough recipes for a very special e-cookbook with a taste for giving. Joining us now from Auckland is author and project lead Kathy Paterson. Kathy, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Lovely to see you again.
Yeah. Now, Kathy, why an ebook was my first question when I read this press release.
Well, I think it's something that we could do reasonably quickly. And also, I love the idea if something wasn't right or it didn't work, well, we just pretend we didn't do it. Because it's really you don't need anything apart from a computer and your telephone to take a few photos. So it was great. So it's really, and then you can change anything really easily. And you don't have a print deadline. So it was great, and we wanted to do it as quickly as we possibly could, so we could get out right on winter, because the recipes are recipes just for winter.
How important is it to pull together the troops, as we said? Because obviously, it's a lot of pride and ego attached to the author's own cookbook, but the Food Writers New Zealand is quite a special group of people to collaborate together around this project called Cosy.
Well, they were great, actually. They all jumped at it. Honestly, they'd all pretty much submitted a recipe within the day that we put the call out for recipes, and all the recipes went into the book. I didn't have to change anything. It just all fitted really well. We had enough soups, and we had enough vegetable dishes and enough meat dishes. It was just amazing how that worked, actually. And I had a great design, and then of course I had my wonderful designer Ashley Gray, and so we just then worked together and got the whole thing together and made it into a book.
Is this the Ashley Gray, former Beef and Lamb?
Yes.
She's a wonderful woman.
Very clever, yeah. And she knows how fussy I am and have quite unrealistic expectations. So she knows how to handle me. So that was quite good, because I would push for more. And but she was excellent. She came up with some great ideas of how to make it look really good as well. Because of course I was slightly concerned we might end up with a big hodgepodge, because with people having to take their own images and things. Although we did give some really good guidelines of the sort of type of colour scheme we wanted, the backgrounds we wanted, not too many props, for example. And so that was quite helpful.
Really is like the potluck recipe book of New Zealand's finest food authors pulling together. But I'd love to understand your connection to the charity and the reason for pulling this together around the wonderful work Meet the Need are doing.
Well, that was interesting, because we actually, I had approached food banks, and they said to me that could we partner with one of their partners, and so we thought, well, that was fine, and then we came across Meet the Need, which was quite a new startup. So we thought, well, that's great, because it's new, because it's quite difficult. I mean, because we're quite small Food Writers, there's only 200 members, so we're not expecting to make thousands and thousands, and so we wanted to make it a difference somewhere, and we thought, well, a new startup's quite good, and we can help with their running costs, because we know how important that is. And so it was great, and they just sort of landed on our plate, really, and they were thrilled to bits.
Kathy, I know from when you launched Meat and Three, when we had a yarn there, that you've got a very deep connection to rural New Zealand. Can you share that with our audience?
Oh yes, well, so I'm obviously from a beef and sheep farm as well in the Wairarapa, and I have, and I just love the farming lifestyle, and I also am very proactive in trying to educate people, especially urbanites, what farmers do, and because there's been a lot of, well, I suppose you could use the word flack, people being a bit negative, but I think it's really about educating them and showing them what farmers do, and this is another really good way of showing people what farmers are actually out there doing, which is really important to me.
Yeah,
and how important meat is, to a lot of people.
And that whole highlighting farmers giving back as well, which is incredibly amazing, as the light has now been shone through COVID on our farming community.
Well, no, and farmers are really generous people. They've got they've got that side to them, because you have to be, and because it's a difficult job actually out in, as I say to people, they're out in all weathers. They never know what's going to happen. So you have to be a really special person to be a farmer anyway. And I think I really like people to see that side of them and understand that that's what they like. And they like us cooks. They like feeding people. They like looking after people as well as their animals.
To close, Kathy, I have just bought my first home, and I swore to God that I was going to have a separate dining room, which is very rare. And I'm looking forward to my housewarming where I can have a dinner party. I may be showing my age. What is one recipe out of this ebook? And also, how can people purchase this ebook? Very simply, that I'm going to cook for this housewarming.
Well, quite a few. Obviously, I've made quite a few. In fact, I've probably made at least well over half of them. But I'm just looking through my little list here. And do you like? Obviously, you'll like lamb shanks. It's a beautiful recipe in there, which I was really interested to try. It was Vietnamese lamb shanks, and it was I really enjoyed it. It had that. It was quite. It wasn't like rich lamb shanks with lots of mashed potato. It was actually quite light. But they were really delicious because they had the limes and Vietnamese mint and some mint through them, and it was. I thought this is quite nice. I'm not surprised. I expect food writers to write good recipes, but it's good to. I love trying other people's recipes, and that was good. That was really good. So that was a really nice one and a really good one that you could make easily. The other two, which I really enjoyed, was actually Annabelle Langbine's ginger and chicken dumpling bowls, which were really nice as well, and just had a really interesting flavour. So I think, you can always make my orange turmeric and carrot fritters.
Oh, lots of things to keep cosy over winter. Now, it's only $10. Whereabouts can people purchase this ebook? And, of course, the proceeds going to meet the need in terms of, as you said, those much vital administration costs, Kathy?
So you need to go onto our website, which is www.foodwriters.org.nz. And when you click in and come up to the home page, you'll see it says Buy Cosy. So it's very easy to do that. And you click on there, and it'll take you to the book, and you just pay. So you can pay. It's $10, but people have been very generous and are giving more. You can give up to $100 on the website, and so most people are paying a lot more than 10, which is really lovely.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Kathy Paterson, if you haven't also grabbed her book, Meat in 3, I highly suggest it. It's one of my favourites as well. But tonight we're talking about the new ebook called Cosy, pulled together as a collaboration of New Zealand's most renowned food writers on how to stay cosy this winter and how to fill the bellies of our most vulnerable through our city mission with Meet the Need.
This is Sarah's Country.